I'm going to say something that might surprise you, and it might feel a little bit radical if you're in the thick of it right now. And if you and your partner are fighting more after having a baby, it does not mean your relationship is weak. It doesn't mean you made a mistake, and it does not mean you are failing. It means your nervous systems are overloaded. And here's why that distinction is so critical. If you don't understand what's happening biologically, hormonally, and emotionally during this season, you can slowly, quietly start to believe a very dangerous story. It's a story that goes like this. Maybe we're not compatible. Maybe they aren't the person I thought they were. Maybe I chose the wrong person. And I can tell you, after years as a couples therapist, that belief can do more damage to your family's foundation than the sleep deprivation ever could. So today we're going to put that story on hold. I'm going to walk you through why this conflict happens, what the research actually says about this season, what I've seen in my office over and over again, and most importantly, we're going to develop a new plan, a way to protect your relationship during one of the most profoundly disruptive and beautiful seasons of your life. Here's the context that most of us never get before we bring home our baby. Longitudinal research, including the foundational work by doctors John and Julie Gottman, shows that about 2/3 of couples experience a significant, measurable decline in relationship satisfaction within the first 3 years of their baby's life. Let that sink in. 2/3. That's not a fringe group. That's the overwhelming norm. And it's not because they suddenly stopped loving each other. It's because becoming parents is not just a life change, it's a full blown identity shift. It's a hormonal shift, a sleep architecture shift, a financial pressure shift, a responsibility and power dynamic shift, a sexual and intimacy shift. You don't just add a baby to your existing life. You're forced to completely restructure your entire system from the ground up while you're exhausted and recovering. And most couples, especially the really strong ones, go into this thinking, we're solid, we've got this, we'll be fine. And that belief, while beautiful, becomes a blind spot because when the conflict inevitably comes, they don't see it as a normal side effect of a systemic overload. They see it as a personal failure. When you don't have this framework, when you think it is just about you two, a predictable and destructive pattern begins to emerge. You start keeping score. Who changed more diapers? Who got less sleep? Who initiated the last chore? And you start assuming intent. He's sleeping in on purpose to avoid the baby. She is criticizing how I dress the baby, just to undermine me. And you start personalizing stress. Your partner's exhaustion isn't seen as exhaustion. It's seen as a rejection of you. Their anxiety isn't seen as a symptom of overload. It's seen as a lack of faith in you. And from there, the defenses kick in. One person might withdraw to avoid the conflict, while the other might tighten their control. Trying to manage the overwhelming chaos, intimacy, both emotional and physical, shuts down, and resentment builds. Not in a loud explosion, but quietly, like a poison in the space between you. And you stop seeing an overloaded system and you start seeing character flaws. He's lazy. She's controlling. He's selfish. She's ungrateful. And that's where the real damage starts. That's what we have to prevent. I remember a very specific moment from my life after our first child was born, and I was standing in the hallway. I can picture it now as I say this, and I could hear the water running. And then I watched my husband walk out of the bathroom, and the steam billowing around him, having taken a shower completely uninterrupted. And I felt this surge of hot, sharp irritation that honestly shocked me. He hadn't done a single thing wrong. He deserved a shower. But in that moment, my sleep deprived, overwhelmed nervous system, I didn't see a partner. I saw a person who had a freedom that I didn't. So later that week, in the dead of night, because it's always in the dead of night, while nursing my baby, I caught my brain doing it, the tallying, the mental spreadsheet of injustice. Who had done more? Who sacrificed more? Who was more overwhelmed? I was keeping score, and the truth I had to learn, both for myself and for the couples I work with, is this: there is no fair way to tally it. You can't quantify the mental load of tracking pediatrician appointments and baby sock sizes, and you can't weigh the physical recovery of childbirth against the pressure of returning to work, and you can't measure whose hormonal cocktail is causing more anxiety that day. And trying to make it fair is a trap. And I see this exact trap in my office every single week. Good people who deeply love each other locked in a bitter fight over who was supposed to unload the dishwasher. And I have to gently tell them, this isn't about the dishes, it's about capacity, it's about biology. So let's talk about what's actually happening under the surface. Okay, so how do we move forward? I want to offer 3 shifts in perspectives. And if you can make these 3 shifts, you will change the entire dynamic in your home. Shift number 1, from personal blame to biological reality. The first and most important shift is to stop seeing the conflict as a flaw in your partner and start seeing it as a function of your biology. Let's go back to the science. Research from UC Berkeley shows that just one night of poor sleep can increase activity in the amygdala. That's your brain's emotional alarm system, by up to 60%. At the same time, it shuts down communication with your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's like the calm, rational CEO. It handles our empathy, problem solving, and impulse control. So let's be clear about what this actually means. When you are sleep deprived, you are biologically primed to be more reactive, less patient, and more emotionally sensitive, and less able to see your partner's perspective. You are trying to have a nuanced adult conversation with a compromised brain. It's like trying to do complex accounting after 3 glasses of wine. That's probably not going to go very well. And this isn't an excuse for bad behavior, but it is a vital explanation. So the first practice is to externalize the problem. The next time a fight starts, I want you to mentally pause and say to yourself, my partner isn't my enemy. Sleep deprivation is the enemy. Overload is the enemy. And when you see the conflict as data about your shared systemic stress, you can stop attacking each other and start attacking the problem together. Shift number 2, from scorekeeping to describing. The second shift is about communication. As we talked about, scorekeeping is the fastest way to build resentment. I think of it as a wall of resentment that starts to build, and that mental tally of who does what is a poison. Antidote is to stop accusing and start describing. An accusation sounds like, you never help with the baby's bedtime. The word you immediately puts your partner on the defensive. Their brain isn't listening to the content anymore, it's preparing a counterattack. A description sounds like, I'm feeling so overwhelmed by the bedtime routine by myself. I'm exhausted by the end of it. You're using I statements. You're not talking about their character. You're talking about your experience. And this invites empathy, not defense. This is especially crucial when it comes to the mental load, the invisible, never-ending list of tasks that one partner, usually the mother, often carries. Instead of saying, I have to do everything around here, which is an accusation, try describing the reality. My brain feels like a web browser with 150 open tabs, and I can't figure out how to close any of them. I'm tracking diapers, at doctor's appointments, and I'm wondering if the baby's getting enough to eat. It feels like my brain never turns off. That description gives your partner a window into your world. It invites collaboration. They can't solve accusation that they don't care, but they can help you figure out how to close some of those mental tabs. So stop accusing and start describing. And shift number 3, from grand gestures to micro connections. The final shift is about intimacy and connection. In the pre-baby world, connection might have been date nights, long weekends away, or hours of uninterrupted conversation. And those things are largely gone for at least a season. And if that's still your benchmark for what a good connection is, you will constantly feel like you're failing. The goal in this season is not perfection, it's connection. You have to lower the bar. A good enough repair is better than no repair at all. This is a principle of micro connection. It's about finding tiny, achievable moments of turning towards each other. It could be 10 minutes after the baby's finally asleep. You both put your phones down, you sit on the couch, and you don't talk about logistics. No talk about diapers or schedules. You just ask, how are you really? What was the hardest part of your day? It could also be a 6-second hug. Research shows that a prolonged hug can release oxytocin, which lowers stress and increases feelings of bonding. It's a literal biological reset. It could be a simple, genuine thank you. Thank you for handling that diaper explosion. I know that was rough. Acknowledgement fights the feeling of being invisible. And clutter is cheaper than resentment. A perfectly clean house is not more important than a 10-minute conversation. In this season, you have to ruthlessly prioritize the survival of your connection over the appearance of perfection. Small things done often. Now, I know that even with these shifts, finding the right words when you're exhausted can feel impossible. It's hard to improvise your way through these conversations, and that's why I've created a free resource for you. It's a guide called Conversation Starters for Exhausted Parents. It has the exact scripts, the say this, not that examples that you can use to start talking about mental load, to ask for help without starting a fight, and to reconnect when you feel miles apart. You don't have to invent the language of repair from scratch. Let me help you with that. You can download it for free at happywithbaby.com. The link is right below in the description. So grab it. It will make this easier. Here's the one thing I want you to leave with today. Fighting more after a baby does not mean your relationship is broken. It means your shared systems are overloaded. When couples truly absorb this, when they understand that biology, the hormonal shifts, and the way their attachment systems are firing on all cylinders, something profound softens between them. You move from the painful story of you are failing me to the collaborative reality of we are stretched thin. You move from what is wrong with you to what can we do to get through this together? And that shift right there can change the entire trajectory of your relationship. It's the difference between this season pulling you apart or forging you into a team that knows deep in your bones that you can survive anything together. Now, if this resonated, the very next piece of the puzzle you need to understand is the concept of emotional safety. Because when emotional safety goes up, defensive conflict goes down. In this next video, I break down the 3 essential components of what emotional safety actually looks like in a relationship, especially during the high-stress season of early parenthood. So watch that next, because when you feel truly safe with each other, again, the fighting stops feeling so scary, and that's where the real repair and the real joy begins.